to the new thing isn't global warming or isn't Ukraine or isn't COVID. Now it's the Muslims. And I don't like a lot of the stuff Israel's doing. I think they stood down. I think it was a false flag. I mean, I think real Islamicists attacked, but it was clearly money Biden sent. But what's the larger picture here with Harvard and the big universities endorsing this? We got a lot to talk about in the 45 minutes or so we've got him, and I'm going to cover some more news after he leaves us in this hour before the next guest joins us. But clearly we said another big war is coming. That's going to be the distraction from the COVID deaths, all the rest of it. And now they're trying to trigger a holy war. Obviously, you get boosted big on Twitter and everywhere else, Hotep, where you're already reaching millions a day if you got on the bandwagon. But clearly the establishment is trying to create some type of clash of civilizations here. Hotep Jesus, thank you for joining us, hotepjesus.com. And the people can also find you at Hotep Jesus on Twitter and menofhonor.com. So, Hotep, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Alex. So, yeah, so your take on Israel's pretty much similar to my take. Obviously, the timing is convenient. We have election season now here, a.k.a. grifting season. Nikki Haley has proven to be a supreme grifter herself after her comments on Fox last night. But what's the bigger story here? Well, first of all, the next distraction is to create something domestically, right? Create some sort of event domestically. Now, it's been happening in spurts here and there. You have protesters clashing. You have Grand Central Station being attacked by pro-Palestine protesters. You have Jewish people being attacked. A lot of different skirmishes have taken place on domestic soil. Much of this planned, much of this known by the elite rulers. And that was one of my fears early on, where there's conflict in the Middle East, and because of all the vitriol on social media spilled into our streets. Now, much of this stuff, as we know, Hamas and Palestine has been supported by George Soros. Black Lives Matter supported by George Soros. We've tracked down some of these protests between the pro-Palestine socialists, but I think Stop the War Coalition is one of them. And Jeremy Corbyn is partly behind some of these protests. So what we have is a communist socialist takeover of another people's struggle. But what's the bigger story that's happening here? Well, while everybody's distracted by the Middle East, what we are experiencing is a complete and total financial transformation where money is going to change how it operates, both at a wholesale level and a retail level. Right now, the House Financial Services Committee is discussing Basel III Endgame. And basically what they're talking about now is, what are the capital requirements for a banking institution? Now, we know what the capital requirements have been since COVID. They said that they are basically zero. You need zero reserves. But now Basel III is challenging some of that and saying that banks need to hold more money, more cash, more capital, which is going to hurt, obviously, the small guys. So what we're looking at right now is actually a huge transformation of the banking industry. If you look, you'll see many banks right now shutting down. You have Wells Fargo.
By the way, let me just interrupt you and say, bingo, 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 ding, 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 ding. We're coming to the end of the big bubble, the new rollout of the central bank currencies. They admit it, and they need crises as the diversion to bring this in.
That's correct. And not only so the crises is going to be the diversion so they don't see all the laws being passed. But then later on, the crisis is going to be the reason why we need the new banking transformation, right? So we have Basel III. Let's put that aside for a second. They're meeting about that today. FCC is meeting about total control of the internet. That's happening today. Now, let's focus on the banks really fast. So we have Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase. All of these places are shutting down your local branch banking institution, right? And they're saying it's because everybody's moving online. So payments are moving digital. You were talking about before the break how we have POS happening now without a human being. I was thinking this morning.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this. How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by Hotep Jesus are those of Hotep Jesus and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Hotep Nation or any of its officials. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact our Office of General Counsel via the sheet of the town. And Hotep and them.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, "What do you think you are? Some kind of Hotep Jesus?"
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Good afternoon, Hoteps. Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host at Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
I got a special guest for you lined up today. You've seen him on this channel before. World-renowned attorney at large. We got Brian Festa here today to talk to us. Brian, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. At large, I like that. My waistline agrees with you.
Brian represents an organization known by that goes by We Are The Patriots. You can catch them at wearethepatriots.org. Is that correct?
It's actually WeThePatriotsUSA.org. Yeah.
We
the people, just with We The Patriots.
WeThePatriotsUSA.org. WeThePatriotsUSA.org. Brian, I hear you have a case right now you're dealing with where there's a woman or a teacher who has been fired for not using gendered pronouns. This is in the state of Florida, I think you said?
It's actually in California, Oakland, California, which I guess isn't too surprising because they're just way out in left field in Oakland. But you know, yeah, Mirella Ramirez. And we've been doing some interviews with her. She is a Hispanic woman, and she actually teaches a dual immersion class, which is another thing that makes this so crazy because they want her to like use not just different pronouns, but in Spanish how you have to conjugate everything, and everything's masculine and feminine, nouns, everything, not just pronouns. So she has to refer to this, they're telling her, she has to refer to a 5-year-old girl as a boy. And she's like, listen, I'm a devout Catholic. That's against my religion. I'm not doing it. And it's an immersion class. I have to teach English and Spanish in the same class. So you want me to be switching back and forth between languages and using, masculine, feminine words and pronouns to refer to this boy or this girl that's supposed to be a boy. I mean, it's absolute insanity.
Hold on, Brian. I'm getting nauseous. Like literally, I want to throw up. You got to give me a second. Hold on a second, yo. Oh my God! Whoa! Oh my God! You said 5 years old?
Yeah, yeah. And what she told me recently is this is one of 3 students actually that they're trying to do this with in kindergarten. And this is a woman who in 2021 was nominated for Teacher of the Year in her school district. Okay. She's beloved in Oakland. as a public school teacher. Okay. And Oakland's a pretty big school district. That's a pretty big area, as you know, in the Bay Area. And she was nominated for Teacher of the Year. And now she hasn't officially been terminated. They're moving through the final steps because, you know, she's in a teachers union. They have to go through hearings and stuff to terminate. She's in the final stages of being terminated, but we've already retained counsel for her. We've already agreed to fund her legal fees. We have a fundraiser on our website if people feel so moved to stand up and support her, even if it's just $5, whatever you have, to say that you stand with Mirella. And she's just a wonderful lady. She loves her children. She's been teaching for many years. And now they're telling her she can't teach just because she refuses to acknowledge a 5-year-old girl as a boy. And she said, no, I'm not going to look at that girl, that beautiful child, and start calling that girl a boy. I'm just not doing it. And so we stand with her because not only do we stand for free speech, but for freedom of religion.
So 2 things I want to understand about this case. Number one is why the school feels as though they have any grounds to stand on for something like this. And then 2, if, you know, you guys have a defense and what that defense looks like.
Yeah, so great question. So first of all, the school does not have any ground to stand on. The school is a state actor. So if you're a public school district, you're a government agency. You're considered a state actor. And so you are bound not only by the laws of California, which, by the way, do protect against religious discrimination, just like they protect against racial discrimination, sex discrimination, disability discrimination. They actually cited California Education Code 220 as their defense. Well, yes, it does talk about gender identity and you shouldn't discriminate against that. But it also talks about you can't discriminate against religion in the workplace or in schools. And yet they're doing that. They think that's okay. But beyond that, Hotep, they're bound by the United States Constitution because they're a government actor. The First Amendment applies to them via the 14th Amendment, which applies the Bill of Rights to the states. So they are bound as a government agency, government actor by the United States Constitution not to discriminate against anyone on the basis of religion. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So they're in a pretty deep you-know-what here. And I don't think they have any legal grounds to stand on. Our legal strategy is exactly what I'm telling you. First Amendment, 14th Amendment violation, as well as a free speech violation under the First Amendment. Because as you know, the First Amendment encompasses not only freedom of religion, but also freedom of speech. It protects us against the government from telling us not only what we can't say, but from compelled speech, telling us what we have to say. That's been a longstanding precedent in the United States Supreme Court case law that you cannot force someone, the government can't force any one of us, whether we work for the government or not, to speak a certain way or not speak a certain way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My mind, I'm just thinking about these people need to be locked up, bro. Like the parents need to be locked up. The school need to be locked up. Everybody in this situation needs to just be, locked up, thrown in jail, and throw away the key. I just don't understand how you could do this to a 5-year-old. Is this coming down from the parents saying that the child is?
Yeah,
that's
unfortunately,
there's no case for like child protective services for this in California.
No, I mean, unfortunately, in California, they do the opposite, right? If you try to step in and stop your child's transitioning, they'll send CPS against you.
Wait, if my child wakes up one day and says, "Hey, it's a boy," but he says he's a girl, and I say, "No, you're a boy," they'll send CPS after me.
They could. I mean, listen, that's not what's happening in this case, obviously. Right. But in California, there's actually laws to protect them from. In California law protects gender transitioning in schools without the knowledge or consent of the parents. So they can actually move forward without any consent or knowledge and assist in the transitioning of a child. To me, yes, I think that's child abuse. I think it's absolutely criminal. I think I agree with you. They should be locked up. In California, it's not a crime, though, and that's why they're getting away with it. And but unfortunately for them, and fortunately for Mirella, we do have a United States Constitution. They would like to try to ignore that and pretend that that doesn't exist anymore. And unfortunately, some of the decisions we've seen out of the Ninth Circuit, they seem to be suggesting that too. But we have a United States Supreme Court that I actually have great faith in and think that they will support us in this. So even if we lose at the Ninth Circuit, I feel very confident. I mean, the Ninth Circuit has been reversed more than any other circuit in the United States because they just get it wrong so many times. And that's no disrespect to any individual judge here, but it's just proof. Look back at the last like 5 years, and you see over and over and over again the Supreme Court keeps batting them down.
All right, let's go to the next case because this one's just gonna make me angry, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna get me banned from the internet. So you have a case in the Supreme Court now in regards to the jibby jab, the inoculation. Tell me about that case.
Yeah, so back in April of 2021, Connecticut became the fourth state to repeal its religious exemption to childhood vaccinations for school attendance.
Okay.
So as you know, in every state in the country, there's requirements that you have to receive vaccinations to go to school, but most states have a religious exemption. You could opt out for religious. Some states like Idaho here, where we are, have a philosophical exemption too. You can opt out for any reason, even if it's not religious. But California, New York, Maine, and then Connecticut repealed their religious exemption to childhood vaccination. We believe that's highly unconstitutional because, again, of the First Amendment.
Wait, hold on,
and the 14th Amendment.
You said Maine, what else?
California, New York, Maine, and now Connecticut have repealed their religious exemption. West Virginia.
This is what I don't understand about America. When I think of places like Maine, right? I just think this has to be the whitest place on the planet. It's definitely one of the early colonies. And I'm just trying to figure out how we got from the early 13 colonies to go so far away from freedom. A place like Maine. Like, I would expect a place like this to be like super red white, but it's not. This is so strange to me. I just can't. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Maine actually used to be part of Massachusetts. In the original colonies, Maine was part of Massachusetts. And that was, as you know, one of the original colonies. So the first one, actually, so when you think about it that way, along with, obviously we had a settlement in Virginia before that, but one of the very, very first. And so that should be the most patriotic. Right?
Yeah.
And protecting individual freedoms. I spent 44 years in Massachusetts and Connecticut before I moved out here to Idaho because it was just getting too crazy. There are no rights really there in the Northeast. I mean, Connecticut is California East, and so is Massachusetts. And unfortunately, Maine has gone that way. Governor Janet Mills, complete tyrant, absolutely against individual freedoms and rights. And New York, unfortunately, is the same way. Spent a lot of time with great people there. We have a lot of medical freedom warriors that we love in New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts. But unfortunately, they've just their leaders do not respect.
Let's stop right here. Let's talk about this really fast. So we have this thing called the Constitution, right? And according to my research, everything in the Constitution is going to come down to interpretation, right? So, for example, when we talk about somebody like Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, her definition of capitalism is about protecting the individual rights of a person, right? And there could be some confusion, right? Because if the government's job is to protect people, they could make the argument that you are not protecting people, or they are protecting people by forcing a vaccination. So it seems to me like a lot of this stuff comes down to interpretation. So how do you get around said interpretation and really cut to the truth of, this is about freedom?
Well, because, there's no public health exception to the First Amendment. There's no public health exception to any of the constitutional rights. So they can say they're protecting the public good and they're doing what's best for us. But the founding fathers knew better. Because, King George and other tyrants like that, they pulled that BS too, that this was good for you, that we have to raise your taxes. It's for your own good, even though you never consented to it. It's for your own good. We're just going to do it. No, that's not freedom. There's no such thing as just, it's for your own good. I mean, we can go back to any period in history, whether in this country or in other countries around the world. And you see over and over again, that's what dictators do. That's what tyrants do, is try to convince the people they're doing something for their own good. So no, the framers of the Constitution were just brilliant. And they knew they weren't perfect people. Listen, we know, All right, none of them were completely perfect, and all of us can look back and be Monday morning quarterbacks and think we could have done things better. But one thing they got right was writing in individual freedoms, free speech, the right to assemble, the right to practice whatever religion you want. I mean, those things are just indelible parts of the fabric of this nation. To try to tear it apart simply because you have some public health crisis, and now they're coming up with new ones, right? Hotep, you're hearing about in China and wherever else, new strains of RSV or whatever else is going to be the new
disease X.
Yeah, disease X. I don't know what it's going to be. They're just going to keep trying this, and now it's an election year, so they want to mess up this 2024 election, which is so important. So the list goes on and on, but. Yeah.
Tell me about the whole Maine situation you're saying now with the vaccination. You're saying that they're removing Connecticut, New York, California, Maine are all removing religious exemption. Do they have any ground to stand on for that? Because of the 10th Amendment?
Well, especially because of the First Amendment and the 14th Amendment. But yeah, they don't, in our opinion. In Connecticut was probably the worst state in how they did it. Because not only did they allow secular exemptions, but deny religious. So they said you can still get medical exemptions, but no more religious exemptions. So that's clearly discriminatory, right? If you have a disability, that's okay. Not that we don't want them to have disability exemptions, because we do, but they're saying, but if it's for a religious reason, that's not okay. But also they claim they did this because of a public health crisis. Because when the government removes a fundamental right, and in Connecticut, education is a fundamental right, the right to attend school. That's part of the Connecticut Constitution. Whenever they do that, they have to prove there's a compelling interest, like a public health emergency, and that they did it by the least restrictive means possible. They can't prove there's a compelling interest because they grandfathered in. They have what's called a legacy exemption, where they let 8,500 students who already had an exemption, they let them keep it. So they said, as of the date the law was signed, if you had an exemption, you can keep it, but anyone new coming into school can't. Well, that proves there was no public health crisis, because if there was a crisis, why would you have let these 8,500 students keep their exemption for some of them for 12 years?
Well,
so they can't meet their burden in court.
Well, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I like to use the numbers against them, right? Where they say this is a public health crisis. And I like to LARP as an attorney from time to time on the internet. And I'm just saying to myself, one of my arguments in the court would be, okay, how do you quantify a public health crisis? And then wait for the other side to answer. And then roll out the numbers of how children were wholly unaffected, and then ask the question, do you consider this a public health crisis? Do you think that defense could work, or would they try to annihilate that somehow, or what? Or are they going to say, no, 1% is a crisis?
No, well, so this particular religious exemption wasn't for the COVID shot. It was actually for all the other shots: measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, everything else in preschool, flu shot. But regardless, they can't prove there's a crisis because Connecticut had one of the highest vaccination rates, and it was above. So for measles, for instance, that's the main one they used. There was no measles outbreak, and they actually had a vaccination rate above the 95% that the CDC says is required for herd immunity. They were above that, well above the 9. At one point, they were like 97, almost 98% vaccination rate. There was no indication that vaccination rates were falling, or that if they were falling in select schools, that it had anything to do with the use of the religious exemption. They just tried to somehow twist the data and cherry pick it and make an argument that there was a public health crisis that didn't exist. That year before this was passed, there were, I think, only 2 cases of measles reported in the state of Connecticut. You tell me how that's an outbreak, an epidemic that requires eliminating religious exemptions all across the state. And by the way, those children who do get them, by and large, recover without any serious side effects. When my parents were growing up, which was a while ago, admittedly, like 60, 70 years ago when they were children, everyone got the measles. Everyone got it. Everyone they knew got measles, mumps, and they all recovered. They didn't know one child who ever died from that.
Yeah, it's not exactly a fatal disease.
That's like chickenpox.
Yeah. So you're taking this case in front of the Supreme Court?
Yeah, so we
Is this like a
appealed.
class
We lost
action
at the Second
lawsuit?
Circuit, but but what was important about our Second Circuit case, we got one dissenting opinion. It was a 3-judge panel, and one of the judges, Judge Joseph Bianco, is a Trump appointee. He gave us an excellent dissent, saying we should have won, and that the majority opinion was wrong. And so we had that dissent, very strong dissent from a very high-ranking federal judge at the Second Circuit, and we took that and we built our petition around that and sent it to the United States Supreme Court. They're currently probably not going to get added to this spring's calendar because they only do arguments through April and they're already almost completely booked up with arguments. But if they do grant it this spring, it'll probably be heard in the fall for oral arguments. But they determine the schedule. I can't say. But the good news is they've been reviewing it. They haven't denied it. They've denied a whole bunch of other cases. They've thrown out a lot of cert petitions, a lot of other appeals, but they're keeping ours. They've kept ours under consideration. So we believe that's a good sign. And we have that strong dissent from Judge Bianco. So we believe we've got a pretty good shot of getting this heard before the Supreme Court, if not this spring, by the fall.
Are you the only ones fighting for something like this for these states? Are there other, appeals, maybe state court?
Yeah, so we're not the only ones. I would give a shout out to Aaron Siri. You may know who he is. He's done some brilliant work in the area of religious exemptions and vaccine injury too. Most of his career, he's done a lot with vaccine injury cases. He actually was able to get a religious exemption in the state of Mississippi. They never had one. They didn't repeal it. They just never had a religious exemption. So he was able to bring a court case and get a religious exemption in the state of Mississippi through his court case. And he also is working to get these exemptions restored in other states. But we have this case we've been working on since 2021 that's already at the Supreme Court. So we hope at least, the very least for Connecticut, that we get this victory very soon. But we believe it will be a victory that will open the doors to having them restored in all the states. Because if the Supreme Court rules that it was unconstitutional for Connecticut to deny a religious exemption to a school vaccination, then it would stand to reason that, the same would apply in every other state.
My issue is the religious exemption part. Like, no, if it should be philosophical. If I feel like I don't want to take it, I shouldn't have to take it. Why do I have to be a part of a religion to exempt myself from your experimentation?
Yeah, and a lot of people say that to us, and they ask us why we aren't just challenging the mandate in general. Why do we even have to go the religious exemption route?
Right.
And the reason, just the simple answer is that's the way that the Constitution is framed. There's nothing in the First Amendment that gives you a right to not be, oppressed by your government just based on your own philosophical viewpoints. So maybe that's one criticism that we can say. Remember I said earlier the founding fathers weren't perfect and they made some mistakes. Well, that's a mistake right there, is they could have added in the First Amendment the right to your own philosophical beliefs, not just religious beliefs. Because they wrote it as religion, religious freedom shall not be infringed by Congress, by the government. Unfortunately, that's the route we have to take, because we have over 200 years of jurisprudence in this country, case law from the United States Supreme Court and other federal courts protecting religious liberty. We don't have that body of case law protecting just individual philosophical beliefs. And there's also nothing in the Constitution that protects you against invasion of your bodily sovereignty, bodily autonomy, they call it. Prior to the Roe v. Wade case being overturned with the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs, there was a thinking that there's some constitutional right to bodily privacy, but there actually isn't. So the Dobbs decision got it right. There's actually no words. You can search and scour the Constitution from top to bottom. There's nothing in there that talks about your bodily freedom or bodily privacy.
Yeah, autonomy,
so religious freedom is really our only path to victory, we believe.
That makes sense. Got to go by what you got, right?
Yeah.
A little off topic here. We got a little situation down at the border. And my issue is the arguments being made by the Texas Attorney General. The Texas Attorney General is invoking Article 3, Section 10. I forget what it is, but basically saying this thing is an invasion. And he's invoking the Constitution, where I'm thinking to myself, he doesn't have to invoke the Constitution. All he has to do is just illustrate how people aren't following the current policies we have laid out in our immigration policy. Because to me, the argument of trying to justify whether we're in the middle of an invasion or not is the exact thing that's going to waste time in the arguments. Am I on point here or way off? Tell me how you feel about the situation.
Well, I mean, we have a right to defend ourselves against enemies, foreign and domestic, right?
Yeah.
And that's in part of the Constitution too. So we do have a right to do that. And in Texas, obviously state law protects you in defending your own property and your obviously your life against attacks. That's usually controlled by state law, whether, state gun laws, even though we have a Second Amendment. Listen, the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution allows you to keep and bear arms. And the reason for that is for your own protection. Because guess what happened during the founding of this country? I was just talking about it earlier. They were very used to invasions by, obviously, the British, who they were subject to originally, but also they had to protect. I mean, you look at,
native populations
all throughout our history, protecting, in the even going back to the war with Mexico over that territory in Texas. I mean, you go back the Spanish-American War, and you look through our history, and we've been defending what we believe is rightfully our territory for years. Now, there can be debates about that, but this is a country. These are the United States. Texas is part of the United States. And we have a right to defend that state. And so other states are getting behind, talking about sending their National Guards down there to assist Texas. It's setting up a showdown, whether or not this may be all orchestrated. A lot of this is theater. You know that, Hotep. This stuff is planned out. They have a way this is going to go. I don't believe this is all just happening organically, but you're setting up the state militias against the federal militia, potentially.
Yeah.
Which is a real interesting constitutional problem that neither of us has seen in our lifetime.
Right.
But that could happen. Do I think it's going to come to that? Do I think they're actually going to be shooting at each other? No. But I think this is a distraction, and I think it's all part of the setup for the 2024 elections too. All right. We have this border crisis. We have some new pandemic. The list goes on and on.
Are you Jewish?
I am not. I'm Catholic.
You're Catholic. Hey, see, y'all was wrong. Look at y'all. See, slow down, anime. I like Jewish people, by the way. Anyway,
maybe it's
the beard. It's the beard and the bald.
Is that what you thought? Yeah.
Somebody in the chat thought you were Jewish and he was being anti-Semitic. Anyway, so my issue is more or less with how the AG is talking to the Biden administration. I felt as though the AG trying to justify that there is an invasion at the border is a big waste of time. I thought the better argument is we have an immigration policy and the Biden administration is not following that policy. When are you going to follow that policy? I thought would be a better argument than arguing with Democrats, because the Democrats, it just seems to me like it's just a stupid argument, like you said, that's just for theater, right? Where it's like, oh, it's an invasion. No, it's not an invasion. It's an invasion. And when you can just say, well, are we following policy?
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, there's an individual right. Even aside from state law or policy or whatever it is, there's an individual right to protect yourselves. All right. If you're being attacked, you have the right to defend yourself. Now, listen, I'm not anyone's lawyer who's listening right now. Okay. So I'm not telling you if you're in Texas and you do something, I'm going to go represent you. But it's my professional opinion that we have the right to defend ourselves if we're being attacked. If someone comes onto your property and they're trying to break into your home and you're in Texas, they've got weapons or whatever, they're threatening you with bodily harm, what are you going to do? Just let them come in, take your life, rape your family member? No, you're going to defend them. You have a gun, you're in Texas, come on. If you can't defend yourself in Texas, where in the United States can you defend yourself?
Yeah, it's going to be a
lot.
It
should be everywhere, by the way. You should be in New York City, you should be able to defend yourself with a firearm. That's your right, okay? That's a constitutional right. That's not something the government grants you. Those are considered inalienable rights from God, okay? You have a right to protect yourself from God. Not the United States government doesn't give you the right to protect yourself with a firearm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my thing was, not so much the individual, because I know how Texans are going to get down. You try something one of them Texans, it's going to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. I was just concerned, but I think you answered my question. That it's just basically like a big show. Okay, so let's go to the next topic I want to talk to you about. You have a film coming out. What's this film about?
So it's called Shot Dead. It actually premiered back in
Shot
November.
Dead. Oh my Lord have mercy! What a title! This has to be about vaccines, ain't it?
Yep, it is. Shotdead.org. It was actually the hardest thing we ever had to do because it was a film project about kids that were killed by the COVID shot. And so we actually, for the first time ever, we went up close and personal with families, the parents who lost their children. We went into their living rooms and sat with them. We looked at their children's bedrooms. We went into the grave sites. It was the hardest thing we ever had to do, but it was necessary because we wanted to show people this is the real damage that's not being talked about in the news. Yeah, you can see a headline and people are arguing over whether it was the shot that killed him. Oh, this high school football player collapsed on the field. And was that really because of the COVID shot? He was 16 or whatever. No, these are parents who are standing up and saying, yes, it was the COVID shot. And I'll tell you why, because Ernesto Ramirez Jr., who collapsed 5 days after he received the Pfizer shot, you're not going to tell his father, Ernest, that wasn't because of the Pfizer shot, because it was. Okay. And Trista Martin, who's only 18 years old, and she took the shot without her parents' knowledge or consent. She was 18. She didn't have to. She went to the doctor by herself. And shame on anyone who is shaming the Martins, because we've gotten some nasty comments or saying it's the parents' fault that their children died. They should have known better. But number one, that's horrible to say to someone who just lost their kid. But also, Alan and Taylor Martin, Trista's parents, didn't even know she took the shot. She was 18 and did it behind their back. They didn't take the shot themselves. They told her, this is bad news. You shouldn't be getting it. But she was 18 and she went and took it. But still, we don't want her to die in vain. And so we profiled these families. There's another story, Naomi White, who died just 11 hours after birth. She was a baby after her mother took the shot while pregnant. The list goes on and on. Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. James Thorpe are in the film. We have a whistleblower nurse, Michelle Gershman. But anyway, the big news is we've got over 1 million views on this now on Rumble alone. And it was just announced this Shot Dead is an official selection of the 2024 Santa Monica International Film Festival. So this is going to be showing this weekend, this Saturday. Anyone who's listening, you probably have some listeners in California. Anyone who's in Southern California, go see this film. You can get a free pass using promo code SHOTDEAD. If you go to the Santa Monica Film Festival website and you order a pass, you can use that promo code SHOTDEAD and you can get a free pass while supplies last. So I encourage everyone who's in Southern California or might be visiting this next weekend, check it out. It'll be the first film they're actually showing at the festival, 11 a.m. when the festival opens. This is the first one of the day.
Shotdead.org. You guys see it right there on the screen. We brought it up. This is out now. You can go watch it on Rumble, right?
You can watch it on Rumble. You can watch it at shotdead.org, or you can watch it at the film festival. If you're there and you want to see it on the big screen, it'll be there too.
Awesome. Wonderful. Brian, can't wait to have you back so we can have another update on all these cases. I appreciate you for coming on. The links in the description box below, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
We are going to come right back after this message and talk about Taylor Swift and all of that. So hold on tight. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
We back. Great interview. Shout out to Brian. We the Patriots. Hold on a second. Let me fix my screens over here. My screens. What up, Rumble? Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling. Let's talk about yesterday. You know, I'm kicking myself in the ass because I said to myself, you never bet on sports. Just go ahead, open up the app, find the app, throw down some money on the Chiefs. You know they're going to win because of the agenda. And I stuck to my own personal bias, which is I just don't gamble. It's just something I just don't do. I don't gamble. I don't believe in day trading and trading. I DCA, and that's just that, right? And then they win, and I go, see, I told you so. You should have broke your own morals and bet, you dumbass. So anyway, they have won. Taylor Swift won the what is that? The AFC West. Taylor Swift has won the AFC West. At least that's how the internet's making it seem. So let's take a look at the article. Everybody's freaking out. They're saying, hey, you know, Taylor Swift, this, that, and the third, and Taylor Swift agenda, and Taylor Swift is a Democrat. And I'm just like, oh, my God. So let's pull this up on the screen really fast, and let's dive into the details and see, should you be concerned with Taylor Swift? And if not, what should you be concerned with? So I posted this earlier on Elon's X. Wait, how can I say that in a way? I'm going to think of a clever way to say I slapped this thing on Elon's X. I put this thing down on Elon's X. So I put my thing down on Elon's X, and I said, I kind of like that. I put my thing down on Elon's X. Anyway, just to show how stupid that name is. So I put my thing down on Elon's X, and I said, people who think Taylor Swift is going to sway elections needs their head checked. This move is called celebrity fear distraction. Pull yourselves together. And then I continued to say the reactionary movements, reactions are exactly what promotes the thing they are reacting to. They are a part of the op. The operation. Now, somebody in here asked a question that I just honestly just refused to respond to. Because right here, the Eric Bose 910-65581, definitely a Fed account. If not, I apologize. But he said, "What's the op?" I literally described it. Celebrity fear distraction. That's the op. It's a celebrity fear distraction. They want you to be afraid of Taylor Swift so that you go out and vote.
I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the white people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the Hispanics were as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because that guy, he really gets it. He knows how to boil it down.
Yeah, I don't get that. They're going to use Taylor Swift the same way they used Taylor Swift to sell tickets to this game this weekend. Because this weekend, it wasn't Chiefs versus Baltimore. It was Baltimore versus Taylor Swift. And my whole timeline is I'm looking at it, and everybody's like, we have to beat Taylor Swift because she's connected to Pfizer and the Democrats. And I'm just like, I thought y'all wanted to remove politics from sports. I thought y'all was boycotting the NFL. Never mind. Makes absolutely no sense. So, as we know, we have grifters, then we have paid grifters. We have witting grifters, then we have unwitting grifters, right? So the unwitting grifters just see the trend on the timeline. They read the room. They see sort of which way people are going, and they hop on the bandwagon and go, I got to hate Taylor Swift too. Anybody knows me, I don't give a shit about Taylor Swift. I don't like her music, and I don't dislike her music. I don't like Taylor Swift, and I don't dislike Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is a musician, and that's it. She does not matter. She's nobody. She's a non-entity. Remember when they went and got Jay-Z and Beyonce out, and all those Democrats out? All those Democrats cut checks to these people, and they still lost the election to Trump. Remember when they pulled out every single rapper and black people still wouldn't take the vaccine? Oh, wait. Great example. We get to turn this into a lesson. Let's see. I heard about this story, did not look it up. Let's see if I can find this story. Somebody was telling me about it recently. Serena Williams clothing line. People are telling me that it was going out of business. Is this true? Is this true? Or they were struggling with sales? Tools recent. Let's go past month. I don't see any stories here to corroborate. Somebody let me know. But Serena Williams has a clothing line. Apparently the sales were slumping. And the point of the matter is that Americans are smarter now. This isn't the Americans of the past where you go get O.J. Simpson and he sells you some gloves.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And then people go, oh, I must buy because Michael Jordan. People are more educated now where celebrity endorsement does not equal success. The Snoop Dogg smoking campaign with the outdoor smokeless fire pit failed. CEO fired, or whoever came up with that, fired. Celebrity endorsement does not equal success. People are hip to this. They know you're going to try and throw a celebrity in front of them. In fact, they kind of hate it. And in the marketing world, some people haven't caught up with this, but startups have caught up with this, where they found that instead of using celebrities to push a brand, they're actually going for micro influencers and just normal everyday people, because that seems to be more convincing than a celebrity, because in people's mind, they go, okay, this celebrity was paid to say this, so I can't trust that opinion. So now they're going based upon, when people make their buying decisions, they're going based upon reviews, for example, and word of mouth and other people and reputation. That's how people are making buying decisions. And now with such a robust market with Amazon and all these other different products and different options, you have to be even smarter and more intelligent about this. So to think that Taylor Swift is going to sway this election, it's kind of corny. So let's come back to the grifters, right? So the grifters, basically what happens with the grifters is the grifters come around and you got the paid ones and you got the ones that didn't get the call. The ones that got the call go, hey, listen, we got an election coming up. Taylor Swift's about to be a really big thing because of the Super Bowl. It's going to be hyped up. The Chiefs are going to win a Super Bowl. We need you guys to go out there and be angry at Taylor Swift. We need some vitriol so we can get the base prepared and ready to go to elections. You know, we got Iowa coming up. We got different primaries, all this other stuff. We need to rally the base to get to and we're going to use Taylor Swift to do this. Okay. And that's how it trickles into your timeline. The paid people convince the unpaid grifters, because the unpaid grifters are just watching how the money's moving. They're like, well, if Charlie Kirk is mad and if this guy is mad and that guy's mad, then I should be mad too, because then my followers go up. And that's what we see happening on the timeline now. So let's dive into the numbers. I hate you all for making me talk about Taylor Swift on a Monday as well. But I always find a way to talk about this stuff in an educated manner. Thank God for that. What is this? Kamar Daniel, the easy guide to safeguarding your crypto. Oh, I love it. New article. New article on menofwater.com. Make sure y'all go check that out. I got a Hotepistan announcement coming soon too. Don't let me forget. Where is it? Where's the I thought I retweeted it. Hold on, it'll take me 2 seconds to find it. All I gotta do is type in Taylor Swift Daily Mail. Because it's a Daily Mail article, right? And everybody's freaking out about the Daily Mail article, and then it's like, well, did you read said Daily Mail article? You didn't read it, right? You just looked at the headline, I'm sure, because the headline was cherry picked just for the reactionary movement. So the headline says Taylor Swift could sway 2024 election outcome. No, the fuck she can't. Nobody's making decisions based upon Taylor Swift. In fact, it's going to go like so. If you are a Democrat and you happen to be a Taylor Swift fan, you're going to vote Democrat. If you're a Republican and you happen to like Taylor Swift, you're going to vote Republican, no matter what the fuck Taylor Swift says. You're going to listen to her music and you can go, your political opinion means absolutely nothing to me, and you're going to go on with your life. Then you got the moderates in the middle. First of all, if you're a moderate and you're independent, you're definitely not making your decisions based upon some little music artist. Because you're an independent and a moderate because you have common sense. It's the people to the left and right that ain't got no sense. All right, so let's dive into the numbers. And in order to do that, you actually have to read down. You have to scroll down in the article. So the sample size is 1,500 people, right? Let's highlight that so everybody sees that. Boom, bang, bow. 45% of them said they liked Taylor. 54% said they were not fans. So most people are not Taylor fans. According to this poll, if the United States follow this poll, majority of people will go, yeah, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Not to say they don't like her, just saying they are not fans. And that's how I think most people would think. Like, yeah, she's cool. I'll listen to maybe some of her bops, but I'm not exactly a fan, right? That's a little bit much. So, and again, so again, the Illuminati, the lizard men never do anything for one reason. So, while you're thinking about politics, they're thinking about their pockets. And what they're saying is we can make Taylor Swift a bigger star by coupling her with Travis Kelce, mixing in the Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. And this is about the record label creating an artist. Do you think this is about politics? Meanwhile, the record label's like, how do we make Taylor bigger? Y'all think about politics, they thinking about pockets. Anyway, I think I passed it. All right, here we go. 18% of voters say they're more likely or significantly more likely to vote for a candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift. Okay? That's 18%. It's 20% roughly. Okay? And this is people under the age of 35. I got to tell you something. People under the age of 35 do not vote. These motherfuckers is not showing up. Okay? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. They're saying this is with voters. These are all voters. So I take that back. These are all voters. So that's not a bad it's not a bad poll because they chose all voters. 17% said they would be less likely to vote for a candidate backed by Swift. So almost an even, it's almost even, right? And keep in mind, they're still a minority. Still a minority, okay? So 18% said it could sway their vote. 17% said it won't sway their vote. Okay. And they say here, could bode badly for Democrat Joe Biden. Says right there. Right. So the headline says, hey, could sway election. And what does everybody think? They immediately go, oh, the Democrats. Now, when I took a guess, when I thought about, Taylor Swift and her fan base, I could have sworn her fan base were red whites. That's what I thought. I thought she made country music for country folk, red white, Budweiser drinking, what do you call it? Pickup truck driving, Confederate flag waving folk. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Although I'm sure she transcends that. But I thought she was the goddess of white country music. Is she not the goddess of white country music? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not deep into white people business like this, so I don't know. Anyway, while I wait for you guys to answer. It says right here, a total of 55% said they would not be swayed either way. And this is what I was telling y'all before. That's what I was telling y'all before. Ain't nobody making their decisions based upon no damn Taylor Swift. Like, what? What are you talking about? She's not. The blue suburbanite women of Sex and the City love her. Pop, not really country. Oh, she's a pop singer. Oh. She gets all the money, not just red or blues. Oh, so she getting everybody money. Pop music. Okay. See, Uncle Hotep listens to her shit. I don't listen to Taylor Swift. Shania Twain is still holding that down. I love Shania Twain. Her music's really dope. Dolly Parton's still the queen. Dolly Parton better be the queen, damn it. All right, so let's go back. So, what's 55 plus 17? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's 72, right? 72% of people don't give a shit about what Taylor Swift says. And the rest of them are just, utter morons. Absolute, utter morons. Just stupid, retarded. Ain't got no damn sense. Now, the red whites freak out. And again, what's their goal? What's the red whites' goal? What are the grifters trying to do? I'm going to show it to you right here. Celebrity fear distraction. The celebrity fear distraction. That's what this is all about. Fear of losing an election. Distraction because she doesn't fucking matter one way or another. And obviously using a celebrity. The hell's wrong with these people?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I'm not sure who's paid or who's not paid. That's all I'm wondering. Now, in the same vein as all of this, we have some interesting developments in the hip-hop world. Some people have gotten the call, as me and Uncle Hotep call it. And some people have not gotten the call. So let's bring this up on the screen. Wow. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Here we go. Let's put this one and let's put this one. All right, let's put this up on the screen. So, there was an interview, I believe, with the Times, New York Times, sometimes, one of them times, interviews Snoop. And Snoop Dogg says nothing but love and respect for Donald Hotep. Shout out to Donald Hotep. He said, got nothing but love and respect for Mr. 4-5 Donald Trump. He said, Donald Trump, ? He ain't done nothing wrong to me. He has done only great things for me. So I have nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. Okay. So I asked Uncle Hotep and I said, did Snoop get the call? And Uncle Hotep said he got the call. Yo, Donald Hotep is kind of fire. That name has a ring to it. Okay. And for those of you who don't know what the call is, I'll do my best to explain it. but you need to be watching Hotep's Been Told You, because we create lingo so fast, and then it seeps into, like, for example, I'll show you a term that has seeped into, we just type this in right here. You'll see a bunch of people now using our term woke right. So I just type in woke right, and you'll see a bunch of people now using the term woke right. Although, unfortunately, Twitter's going to make a fool of me and not show it to me. But something I've seen happen recently where people were talking about the woke right. Okay, there's I had to put a question mark around it. We got there go Haram Life. There go Steph. Who did I see? I saw another big name come. There go Rudy. All right, here we go. Gave up the ghost, right? So this stuff is slowly seeping in. This guy calls himself a U.S. nationalist, and he says woke right is a grift. So we've made grift popular, woke right. So woke right is going to start making its rounds, and you'll see that shortly. Right now, it's not. Here's another one here, Chaos, Anarchy. He says, I didn't care about this, but the woke right told me I should be concerned, so now I'm concerned. So there's this terminology. There's another one there, another one there. This terminology is new. We created it, and, you know, it's going to become a thing. So the call, if you're listening to this, you're going to be ahead of everybody else, because we create the lingo. The grifters get it from us, and then they act like, you know, they made it up. But anyway, coming back to the point. So you got the call, right? So there's another person. Hold on. I have Dom Luke Ray muted for health purposes. Not that I don't like him. I just, you know, I just don't want to see his content. I like to curate my timeline. So let's take a look.
Morning glory, it's a beautiful day to be the boss, but check me out. I just got off the phone with one of my homies, and let's make it clear, you vote for who you want to vote for. It's fine with me. But one of my homies, he was just like, boy, I can't wait till Trump get back in. Boy, he had a nigga eating. And I just don't want nobody to be delusional. You can't be a delusional nigga. Did he have you eating, or was it a nationwide, worldwide pandemic and you niggas stole the money? Did you niggas steal the money, or was he having you eating? I'm just saying, that's y'all business. Toast to the hustlers, man. It's called delusional. You know what I mean?
Wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. Look at this shit. Why did it? Yo, Twitter just told me I wasn't following Uncle Hotep. Now, playing games. Anyway, all right. Phil the Kill says woke right been around for years. Okay, my bad. Yeah, right. Anyway. Yeah, for health purposes. I can't be dealing with, you know, all the breaking news videos. Just miss me with that. I need my financial breakdowns on the timeline. I need my Sonny Johnson. If it seeps past those people and makes the timeline, then it's important and relevant. But I can't deal. I have all the people who do breaking news just in. They're all muted. I don't care about your breaking news and your just in, because none of it actually matters. It's just it's food for the hoi polloi. You know, it's food for people with small brains. You know, people who are entertained by bullshit. And it just doesn't feed me. But this time, this is actually pertinent, you know, because we're talking about the call, right? So the call is like, who else got the call? Anybody else remember got the call? There was another person, another hip hop artist who came out and I wouldn't say endorsed Trump, but said, yo, you know, this was just a few weeks ago. Anyway, let me explain the call. So the call basically goes, Meek Mill, that's who it was. I just remembered it. Meek Mill. It was Meek Mill. And it's funny that Meek Mill is an MMG artist, or used to be. I don't know what the update is on that. But Ross ain't got the call. So Meek Mill got the call from Boston, but Ross ain't get the call. So basically the call, you saying Ross got the call too? Oh, he might have got a different call though. He got a different kind of call. I'm going to say, let's just go where he didn't get the call so I can just explain what's happening here. So the call is basically, it's already predestined that Trump's going to win the next election. And they want to slant it in his favor. So they're calling around to the prominent hip hop, again, celebrity distraction. And they're calling around and saying, hey, look, it's okay to endorse Trump. You can do it. Go ahead. Green light. Charlemagne got the call. And any black person who has not endorsed Trump or come out in favor of Trump has not gotten a call. So I'm going to go ahead and say Rick Ross has not gotten a call. Or if he did get a call, now there's no way he got a call to support Democrats because it just doesn't make any sense. That just strategically it does nothing. Rick Ross is not the guy you would call. They already got Taylor Swift. Somebody said Nicki Minaj. Yeah, interesting developments with her and Ben Shapiro. I think, sidebar, because of, wait. No, that was Cardi B that had beef with the right wing. I was going to say it's pretty smart for Nicki to align with the right wing because it would alleviate some of her past beef. So that was Cardi B that had beef with, I think it was Candy. So coming back, you see how I have like so many different thoughts at the same time. This is one of my biggest conundrums, having a big brain. So yeah, the call comes in and basically says, it's okay. You can endorse Trump. We're not going to cancel you. You're not going to lose any endorsements. It's safe. It's basically, it's safe. And, go ahead and push this out there because we want Trump to win because we are carrying out the balance of powers. That's pretty much what's happening here. If you guys read Carol Quigley's work, Tragedy and Hope, let me put that on the screen here. Here it is. Put this on your screen. Go get a copy of this. It's like 1 million pages, but definitely worth your time. Something I had to read. What does it say here? Yeah, 1,300 pages. Definitely worth your time. Something I had to read to. Can we get Big Boss Ben to represent Earth in a universe rap battle? Hell no, he can't represent us. Hell no. But it's a really good book. I suggest you get it. I had to do it when I was doing research for my book, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War, which reminds me about my Hotepistan announcement. Okay, so, I always talk about Hotepistan, right? And we talk about economics and money a lot on this platform. So, I'm going to show you something coming down the pike. I don't want to say the number because I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. If you want more information on this, join our Telegram group and a link in the description box below. So basically it works like this, okay? We have an exclusive opportunity to exist outside of the controls, the control design, and create our own community. And in fact, this is probably going to be one of the few places I'll communicate with people going forward. And basically what we are going to do is we're going to have Hotepistan in the cryptoverse. I've touched on this in the past. So basically what happens is I'm going to put up some bread, right? I got a stack of Syscoin. This is going to be happening all through Syscoin, or it might happen on their layer 2 solutions. I'll let you know soon. So basically, I'm going to put up a big bag of Syscoin on Hotepistan, right? Now, for every person that puts up money, I get a fee, okay? Now, let's say you're number 2. Let's say you come in after me. You get a fee for every person that comes after you. The incentive here is to drive people to join the community. So you want to incentivize other people to join the community. So you're going to get a percentage of however many you put down. If you put down $1, you're just going to get a percentage of your dollar. Put up 100, you're going to get a percentage of your 100. So every person that comes thereafter is going to, you'll get a fee of. It should feel like a pyramid scheme. However, being that these people are intelligent, they have anti-rug mechanisms where if you try to rug us, you'll pay a penalty. So nobody will want to rug. So it'll come in the form of loyalty bonuses, et cetera, et cetera. But I look at this as a way for Hotepistan to flex its financial power. You know, how much money can we make together by pooling our assets? That's what I'm talking about. So more info on this, join in the link in the description box below. Our Telegram group, because like I said, the first one in gonna make the most. The second one in, third, fourth. So it's gonna be a race. It's gonna be a race. So get your bags, get your Syscoin ready, because when this thing launches, whoever's the first one in is gonna make the most. Obviously, it's just how it goes. And everybody gets paid off of everybody. If you want a part of this, and you want to be a part of the history recreate using cryptocurrency and Hotepistan, join at that link below and join our Telegram group to be the first to get the announcement. Because if you're not the first to get it, turn on your notifications. Because when that announcement go, I don't want to hear Hotep Jesus. What happened? Somebody else got in front of me. I wish I was first. You know, that ain't my problem. All right. Let me do a look over on the Grift bag. Shout out to Syscoin. Let me do a look over on the Grift bag and make sure there's nothing else I want to touch on here. Now, that could wait till tomorrow. What else we got here? That could wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah. We got a lot of, we got some racial grifting in here. We'll get to that tomorrow. Let's open up the phone lines. Text Hotep your name to 202-596-5631. Text Hotep your name to 202-596-5631. And I'll be right back after this short, brief commercial message.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
All right, we back. How was I procrastinating, Phil? What did I do? Come on down. Make sure y'all use his link. Use his link. He gets credit for the sale. He gets a commission. We do have a commission program, menofwater.com. Just hit the earn button. And his coupon code does come with 30% off. Yeah, 30% off. Yeah. I don't have any callers. So since I don't have any callers, we can just get rid of this race grift stuff and talk about it now. My kids got a chess tournament tonight. Hold on, let me verify. I want to verify the time of this chess tournament. Give me a hold on a second. Let me just do some dad shit really fast. I got to get their chess federation IDs together as well. I have them. I just have to, make sure I got them. Okay, so she did confirm. Yes, they are having it. Okay, cool. What time is this happening? I'm gonna have to find out. Just want to make sure. I know it's tonight. I want to say it's around 6 o'clock. 6:30. Yep, 6:30. Okay, cool. 6:30. We gotta be there. I just want to make sure we're there on time, and I have enough time to grift. Okay, cool. So I don't have to rush out of here. Let's go ahead and dive into the race grift. We might as well start with this since it's on the screen. This is actually, no, let's end with that. Patriot J says, y'all been on here arguing about the craziest stuff sometimes. Last month it was Harvard presidents. This month it's airline pilots. Yeah. I need somebody got to keep track of the racial grift. This is a good grift for you. If anybody in the chat wants a really, really good grift, you'll keep track of the DEI racial grift from the woke right. So it began with the Harvard president, Claudine Gay. So you get her image, and then like black pilots, right? And that'll be like, January. And then see what they complain about. I mean, we're just a day away from Black History Month tomorrow. And then see what they complain about for that month. He said, can you talk more about the anti-rug pull mechanism? Absolutely. So the anti-rug pull mechanism works like this. If you pull we're talking about Hotepistan in the cryptoverse right now. If you put your money up and a bunch of people join, again, I can't say numbers because I don't know if this is finalized and if my NDA covers me or not. So I'm just going to say the general concept here. If you pull your money out, let's say a bunch of Hoteps come in after you and you pull your money out, there's a 30-day premium you're going to have to pay, which means it just, financially doesn't make sense for you to pull out. Pause. If you pull out between 30 and, let's say 180 days, there's another fee for that. And then 100 and 365. And at a year, there's zero deduction. Now, I don't know what these numbers are. I don't know if these times are set in place. I believe this structure that I'm looking at here is prototypical. Okay. There's a protocol fee, obviously. There's a group fee, and that goes to the group, that goes to Hotepistan. And then there's a group fee. So every time somebody joins, the group gets money, and then the money gets split up to everybody. We'll bring somebody from Syscoin in, and I'll ask questions. I'll interview them the day of launch or sometime thereafter, so we can get these questions answered, so on and so forth. But this is the Super DAP. We have the waiting room for this. If you're in a Telegram group, hit that link in the description box below. Join the Telegram group to be one of the first to get in. Says, sounds like Hex. Well, it's like, it's not a new concept. The difference is, I'm not sure about Hex, and I don't want to tarnish anybody's project, but the problem is this concept has been tried before, but people were getting rugged. Okay? People were getting rugged. And that's the issue. People were, building up groups, and then everybody was cashing out. Building up groups, and then everybody was cashing out. So if you were the last guy in, you just lost money. By doing it this way, the last guy in, at least he gets his money back, plus some, because there's a group fee, right? So this is some anti-rug mechanisms put in place, as well as some other measures. Did it time me out? Hold on. Lauren, the link is in the description in the box below. Yeah, done through smart contracts. Correct. Yeah, done through smart contracts. Yeah, Goldstein, there's gonna be a protocol fee. Absolutely. The bank got to get paid first. You know that. He said that was the problem with IML and Forex. Yeah, everybody was rugging. So we want to have Hotepistan be anti-rug pull mechanisms in place, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So coming back, let's take a look at this video. This video, I think, is important to put racism in perspective. And I don't think we quite understand racism of the past. So let's take a look.
If you were black, I mean, physically black, but spoke a different language, which was the case with many Cubans that were there. That was the other large population. You could go into the theaters and the hotels and restaurants. It was just American blacks that were not good enough. Interesting, right? Yeah.
See, stories like this destroy the notion of white supremacy. Because if it was white supremacy, they would say, nobody of dark skin is allowed. But they said, oh, this person speaks a different language. So they recognized nationality. These ain't these other niggas. These is good niggas. Which puts a lot of things into perspective. And I think the more we dive into the past, the more we're going to see stories like that. Now, let's move on to this dumbass shit right here. This is terrible. Did we play this last week? I don't think we did. This is terrible. This is just terrible right here.
But unfortunately, that is the reality of what happens when it comes to DEI. And what he is remarking on is true. I would be terrified if I got onto a plane and I saw a woman flying the plane. And I know that we have the United CEO saying that he just wants to fulfill a quota. He just wants there to be more women and wants there to be more black people. And he's not concerned at first with qualifications. That is something that should alarm all of us, guys, honestly. But unfortunately.
Now, I made a joke last week that said I don't want no female pilots somewhere along the line. But I was joking. I got to be honest with you. If I got on an airplane and I saw a female pilot, I would not be terrified. I'd be terrified if I knew how to fly the plane better than her, but I don't know how to fly an airplane. Mr. J Dub, you silly. If I saw a woman, as an airline pilot, I would just automatically assume she was qualified. I'd take my black ass and sit down in my seat and go on about my day. I would not be terrified. But again, grifters got to grift, man. Grifters got to grift. She got bills to pay. She got a new baby to feed. And if, the wind blows today and says we're talking bad about DEI, then she's got to follow the script, She got to follow the script. I think it's kind of corny, but then last week we had all of this. Hold on, let's pull this up. We had all of this shit. Matt Walsh blog, Falcons are going to hire this guy. He has a losing record as a head coach. We covered all this, I think, last week. Bill Belichick. Clay Travis says if Bill Belichick were black, the fact that no NFL team would hire him would be the #1 story in sports media and presented as evidence of the NFL's systemic racism all day long on ESPN. But since he's an old white guy, no one is even paying attention. So they're just more examples of woke right. There's nothing to really dissect here. This is just examples of woke right, which brings us to Sonny's point. And in order to do that, we have to play this video first to understand why the woke right is so off. We got to play this video right here.
This might be a controversial take, but I'm seeing a lot of queer white people posting shit like posting themselves being really happy and doing some random shit and being like, yeah, our joy is resistance. And in my opinion, white people's joy is not resistance. Queer or not, your joy is not resistance. Matter of fact, your joy is what got us here in the first place. Your joy is why we're having to resist.
100% sure she's gay because she's fat, but let's just continue.
And y'all putting yourselves and finding yourselves and your own joy in front of everybody else is what got us here. Literally, I'm seeing so many white people right now going on organizer retreats and posting about their joy and how awesome it was. Honestly, I want to see more of y'all sitting your ass at home and giving your money to black and brown people so they can do that shit. This might be a controversial thing.
All right. So You heard the bullshit out of her mouth. But let's take a look at what Sonny says. And I think this is the correct take here. Sonny says, again, think about how stupid your people are. This is infighting. The left, the people that hate you, are fighting amongst themselves. Your people insert themselves into the middle of the fight that has nothing to do with them to protect whiteness. May the SWAT be with you. And what she's doing, she's responding to Libs of TikTok, right? One of those white identitarian accounts. It says, white people being happy causes oppression, so they need to stop feeling joy and should give their money to black people, right? And I think Sonny makes a great argument here where she's basically saying there's a civil war happening on the left between leftists, and right-wing people inject themselves into that civil war to protect whiteness. Then say they don't like identity politics. This is an example of the woke right. This is the epitome of the woke right. Instead of letting them cannibalize themselves, instead of letting them just fight on the left, minding your business and worrying about something else, you've chosen to pick up, or I should say take up for, white leftists who you say are the enemy. No, let these people destroy each other and mind your business. But these people don't have enough foresight. They just get triggered because they heard the word white. But the girl clearly states in the beginning of the clip, let's play it again, right here.
A lot of queer white people.
Queer white people. She's specifically talking about queer white people. So if you're not queer white people, she's not talking about you. She's talking about a very specific problem that I've heard from other gay people. And they say some of the racist people they ever met were in the LGBT community. That's what they say. That's what they say. You would think, as a right winger, you would use that and say, look at how racist these leftists are towards black people. But no, you are in the woke right part of the story here. You are in the we don't like black people part of the story here. We got an agenda to stick to. Yeah, white victimhood. It's definitely an op. Absolutely. Then there's a video going around where some black kids beat up a kid, and apparently the kid broke into a seizure and died. And then, somebody tags me and he says, I never seen these large black leaders / accounts like Pastor Scott Montel Williams. Is that Montel Williams from the TV? Montel. Why won't you say something? This is the same problem I had with black leftists or leftists, period. How come you don't talk about these injustices? I didn't know my word was so damn strong where I could just speak up and just the world changed. They act like if I go and I condemn the actions of Hamas or I condemn the words or actions of Israel, something magically changes. I am powerful, but I ain't that damn powerful. I'll let you know when I reach George Soros levels of power. Actually, I won't have to let you know. You'll know it. But he called me out. I'm in the same boat as Montel Williams. I don't know who The View, Sonny from The View. This is how you view me? Soledad O'Brien? All these people got millions of followers, so I guess I'm in good company, somewhat, somehow. I got another tweet to show y'all, too, that scared the shit out of me. You can't just hit these bird chest niggas with these days, man. They go down fast. Man, listen. All right. So, I responded, and I said, when the left's race hustlers posted violent videos, I called it trauma porn and condemned it. I have the same view for the right's race hustlers. It's called being consistent. Race hustling hurts us all. Get some help. Stop it. All right. And I continued. I said, the violent videos between black and white races are the anomalies, not the norm. Race hustlers need you to believe there's a pandemic of racism so they can fill their wallets and serve their intel agency masters. We need HJ to condemn the razor wire at the border. It's just going to magically disappear as soon as I say something. You said you would be there if they didn't suppress you. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I always got a workaround. Don't play into the games. Unite. Don't divide. This is, and I think most normal thinking people would agree with this, right? And, you had a lot of people react to that video. And I saw the video. I saw a kid getting beat up, and I just kept on scrolling because I'm like, I don't want to sit here and watch some kid get beat up. It's pretty fucking gruesome. And I already knew what time it was. I knew they were on the type time of, racial grifting. And I don't want none of it. Now, here's something that scared me. I got to show y'all this. This scared the shit out of me. Are y'all ready? Matter of fact, let's do trivia. What black leftist retweeted Hotep Jesus? Quote tweeted. What black leftist quote tweeted Hotep Jesus? For a chance to win a 1-month supply of Flow or Apex from menoforder.com. What black leftist quote tweeted Hotep Jesus? I'll give you 2 minutes to guess. Kid needs to learn how to fight. Yeah, also true. Where is Alfonso Ribeiro on this? I'm looking at y'all responses. I can't say no because then you guys are gonna know who is right. I'm gonna wait till all of them come in and then I'll respond. I see a lot of good guesses here. One of them could be the answer. One of them might not be the answer. One of them might be the answer. One of them might not be the answer. I can't say yet. I see some good guesses. I see Joy Reid. I see Cornell West. I see Mark Lamont Hill, Tariq Nasheed, Roland Martin, Nina Taylor, Al Sharpton, Talcum X. Some good guesses. Whoopi Goldberg, Gregory Purcell over on Rumble. Lupe. Don Lyman, Ida B. Wells. Ye is not a leftist. Don't do that. Lauren said Don Lemon. Oprah, some good guesses. Those are some good guesses. KJP. All right, time's up. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was a good guess. I wish Taylor Swift quote tweeted me. That would be great. I need a bump like that. Pause. Y'all ready? I'm just gonna put it on the screen. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna put it on the screen and y'all gonna lose y'all mind. You see it? Do you see this? Do you see this? CJ Pearson. Can you believe this? Of all people to repost Hotep Jesus, look who it is. Look who it is. Now, I don't know if you guys remember a couple of shows back where I said, I wish this tweet didn't happen. I accidentally stumbled upon the great grifting, which is the mixture of black and white. When I said retweet to scare a conservative grifter, right? How much engagement's on this thing now? Oh my fucking God. 4.2 million views. I put out some of the greatest work on the planet that never gets views. One racial grift tweet and I get 4.2 million. I hate the algorithm. 4.2 million on this bullshit ass garbage ass tweet. You know how many gems I drop on the timeline? No, I did not get 4.2 million followers. Hell no, they didn't follow me. 4.2 million. In fact, this tweet was weird because like all of the woke right unfollowed me, and then a bunch of black people followed me. But like I tweet for like really intellectual people, so like my follower count just keeps going like this. It doesn't really like go up. But this really? And I knew I did something wrong. I knew I was grifting over the speed limit when Jamel Hill responded to this. Lauren said that was a throwaway. Word, this was a throwaway tweet. And Jamel Hill responded. That's how I know that I did something wrong. Remember I told you I was scared of this tweet? And the only reason why I found out was because I think an argument broke out in my mentions, and I seen Jamel Hill there, and I was like, why is she attached to my name? And I looked, and I'm like, oh, she done reposted my shit. Because if I mute my tweet, I don't get interactions for that tweet. But if somebody reposts it, that's a new tweet or a new post. So I'm going to start, if I'm tagged in that, I'm going to start getting notifications. So when I saw it was her, I was like, oh, shit. And sure enough, somebody tagged me in it, and I saw she had. I was way over the speed limit, Lauren. Nah, this is a misdemeanor. This is an accident. I didn't mean to do this, and it wasn't. And I didn't even mean a race grift. It literally says retweet to scare a conservative grifter. It has the modifier grifter. This is for the grifters, black or white, because they was just grifting way too hard. Like, niggas can't fly planes and shit. Like it's really hard to tell somebody, you know, would you like champagne or orange juice in first class? It's not hard being one of these people. You go through training, you do a certain amount of hours, and you just come out, and it's just like, it just is what it is. Like, it's not that fucking hard. And Uncle Hotep, I thought he made the best argument about this. He said, if you see a black pilot, you know they are whiter than the whitest white man. You know, do y'all know how much does it cost? Chat, tell me, how much does it cost to become a commercial airline pilot? Let's start there. How much does it cost? Because this ain't for the poor people. This ain't for just, you know, Jamal hopped off the block. This ain't for that. Anybody know how much it costs? This ain't no cheap shit. So the grift, to me, it was just, I just didn't like the grift. But when I saw Jamel Hill repost me, I was like, nah, I'm not feeling this at all. Not feeling this at all. Goldstein about to check in. I feel slimy with her reposting me. I really feel slimy. Really hoping Charlie Kirk gets his flight crew. I like her response because, you know, it's right in line with what we were saying, but if I'm ever in alignment with Jamel Hill, it's just not the crossover.
Call from Murphy's Law Rest.
Goldstein, what's up, man?
What's happening?
What's good with him, yo?
Oh, shit, man. Listen. Jamel Hill, it's over for you, bud.
It's over?
It's over.
What you mean?
You had a nice run.
Until this shit.
If Jamel Hill is retweeting your shit, yeah. And then you got the nerve to bang on Swift's head this morning.
Who?
Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody watching you now, and you do that. So yeah. Nice run.
I done fell off that quick.
God damn.
Bro, do you know how I felt? Like when I opened up my app and I saw Jamel Hill there and I clicked on it and I saw her repost me, I was like, oh no, what have I become? Oh no, I done fucked up.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling because I got the same pit in my stomach one day when I saw Candace Owens like one of my shits.
Oh.
I was like, these are not the radars that you want to be on. You don't want to be. Jeez. But nah, it's a good thing that bitch is washed up. Otherwise, you would be through.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a good thing she is washed up. That shit
Yeah,
scared
but
me,
listen. Yeah, I bet.
That shit scared the fuck out of me.
You're going to start getting invites to spaces and some more shit. Right? Like, hey, come over here and talk on this, and let's interview.
I like to stay in that range of like 10 to 50K views on a tweet, maybe 100K. You know what I mean? Because anything outside of that, you done said some shit that, you know, too many people fucking agree with, which means it's just too much of a basic bitch tweet. You know what I mean? I like to
Friend
talk
of the
to
world, man.
Yeah, I like to talk to people who earn six figures or better, but what's the modifier there? Because it's like their IQ is also gonna be, damn, that's who is my audience? I feel like my audience are like, to break it down to a very finite level, are free thinkers. And there's not too many of those. But you also have to be smart to get the shit I say, you know? So it's like smart free thinkers.
Right. Yeah, I feel you. I can barely get a motherfucking tweet to go past 30K. Yeah, and that's that's like on a good day.
Yeah.
Where motherfuckers come through with some shit, and I'm happy with that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I purposely talk over people's heads, so I'm only talking to smart people.
Right.
I don't want
quality, not quantity.
Yeah. I don't want retarded people understanding me, because then you get retarded shit in your mentions, and I just don't want to deal with that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to see you end up like Zubair.
Oh, ZV Bear? Zubair, yeah. He flew too close to the sun.
That fool. That is the most epic shit I've seen this year.
That was pretty fucking epic.
That motherfucker right there, man. That was. You know, I am one of the hosts of of the only space he ever did on Twitter, right?
You said what?
I am one of the hosts of the only space he's ever done on Twitter.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that.
And I'm looking to fucking get his ass to come back out of hiding in a space. We're in talks right now to try and get that done. But hopefully it goes off without a hitch.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good shit right there. But I do want to touch on this fucking race grifting shit real quick.
Okay.
So, you got Candace talking about she don't want no woman pilot. She'll get scared.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk talking about he don't want no black pilot. He'll get scared.
Yeah.
Right. So, by default, the DEI gets rid of all minorities and, you know, all the weird motherfuckers, right? Who's left? Who's left to fly the fucking plane? Now, the day that one of these motherfuckers come out and say that, then I'll say, okay, that's a racist right there.
Say what?
And the day they come out and say who they would like to see flying that plane, and I mean, don't mince words either. Don't talk about square jaws and all that other weird shit. I'm talking about say what the fuck you mean. When one of them come out and say exactly what the fuck they want. Because if there's no blacks, no women, no gays, no other minorities, who the fuck is left?
White people.
White men.
Yeah.
Right. When you come out and say, I only want a white man flying my plane, then I'll say you're a racist.
Correct.
And by saying that, I will also have the utmost respect for you.
Also true.
You in my book will not be considered a bitch ass Charlie Kirk. Right?
Because you stood 10 toes down and said what the fuck you felt instead of trying to hide the shit between jaw lines and all this other gay shit.
That's right. That's a motherfucker that I'll not only respect, I will give a follow to, and retweet their shit if it makes sense to what I'm trying to do.
But they scared though. They too scared to do something like that.
Right. Exactly. And that should be an indicator to all the fucking freedom-loving patriots, all the motherfuckers who are America first, all the motherfuckers who are looking for, you know, some type of leadership. That should be a clear-cut indicator to you that you're following a fucking pussy. And if you're following a pussy, then what the fuck do you think is going to become of your entire worldview if a pussy's the one that's leading the charge on that?
Oh, you're going to be making a whole lot of pussy decisions.
That's right. Because you know how you feel, and you fuck with that person because they feel similar to how you feel. But if neither one of you scared motherfuckers can say it, then what's going on with the movement? Right. Where's the movement go?
Right.
Stay on the motherfucking timeline if you want, right? Because that's the only place you will ever serve any good, is fattening up someone else's fucking coffers for saying pussy shit.
Mm.
All right. That's what I wanted to send the reminder out to the motherfuckers. If you got a dude and you know how you feel, you ain't willing to say the shit that you feel, and you follow this motherfucker because he's just as scared as your ass, neither one of you scary motherfuckers are going to get anything done.
Mm.
So just let that be a reminder. You need a fucking strong man. I say it in my timeline. My timeline, or not my timeline, my bio. The era of the strong man. If you're not a strong man in this era, you are a weak man. If you're a weak man, you're going to be a fucking target. All right? Motherfuckers are going to feast on you for one reason or another. Don't be a weak motherfucker.
Facts.
That's pretty much all I got.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
See you tomorrow. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill.
Goldstein on the check-in. I think that's well said. Menoforder.com. Don't be a weak man. Be a strong man. Apex. Testosterone formula available now. Save 30% with the QR code on your screen. Hit the link in the description box below. Don't be a weak man. Charlie Kirk needs some of that Apex. Yo, listen. I snapped when I thought of the name Apex. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I really snapped when I thought of that. What were we about to call it before it was Apex? I think it was called. What name did we have before Apex? This product almost went to print. Flow was almost called Mind. What? Do I have another sample bottle, right? No, that's the. Y'all can't see that one yet. That ain't come out yet. Damn, I can't remember. It was something, and like, I have a CEO mind that I've developed over the decades. And one thing, whenever you do something, especially when it's about to go to print, you're about to print thousands of something, you want to give it one final look through and say, do you love it? And we had a meeting before it was going to print, and I said, do you love it? And the answer was unequivocally no. I was like, I don't love it. I don't love it. What's wrong? I don't like that name. I was settling for the name. And I said, we need a better name. And I made the team go through a whole bunch of iterations before we even got to that point. So I'm sure they were like, damn, Hotep, another thing to hold this project up. Yep, we got to get this right. We got to nail it. And I said, I don't like the name. And we spent about another 15 minutes, and I found the name Apex. And I said, what about Apex? And they were like, yo, I like that. Let's run it. And then we named it Apex. Ahem, sir, I talked about Apex Predators and the locals. Yeah, I think that was after we called it Apex, though. I think that was after. Because if you would have said that, I would have just named it Apex then. But this is like this is before. Yeah, this was before. No, this was after I asked you guys which product. because you guys in my locals, hotepjesus.locals, you guys got first word, and you guys got to pick the next product. You and the YouTube subscribers. So you guys got to pick testosterone as the next supplement. Wholesome white woman call in, and then we landed on Apex. But maybe you did, and it didn't register. I don't know. Sorry, Jay. You ain't getting no royalties though.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I'm not tripping off what they said about the woman pilot comment. Had me cracking up. No, I just think, it's one thing to joke and say, hey, I wouldn't want a woman pilot. All love, Jay. All love. But it's another thing to be serious. Like, you serious? So some people said it costs up to $100K to get a pilot license. Sounds about right.
Hotep, wholesome white woman.
Hotep, wholesome white woman. What's happening, love?
Oh, not much. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Day 4 of flow. It's pretty good.
Day 4 of flow. Okay, you should start to feel something after about a week or two.
So it's a very similar formula to a very near and dear to my heart tincture that I used to get out of Oregon.
Okay.
So I actually don't have to wait that week period. I actually didn't have a lapse in my supplements. So first and foremost, it is phenomenal. I have very bougie white lady standards when it comes to my supplements.
Okay.
And Apex passes. Or not Apex, Flow passes. So if anybody needs an endorsement.
Wait, you're so you're saying you looked at the ingredients on Apex and Flow and they passed your shit test?
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, we try to we try to make it so that uppity white women would approve.
Exactly. Obviously, we don't want to put out bad products, but for people who don't know any better, those of us who do know better, it's a good product.
Yeah.
So the main reason I wanted to call in today is because the thing that I say a lot is that we're all humans, regardless of our melanin concentration. The other thing that we forget at times is that a big group of people is powerful and small groups of people are powerful. But when the big group of people gets broken into smaller groups of people, we have a problem.
What do you mean?
And the
like you're talking about,
I
was about to say, you're talking about like intersectionality and all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The intersectionality fucking checklist dumb shit. Are you a good human being? Do you respect me as a human being? Do we both hate the same thing? That's good enough for me. The little nitty-picky, do you drink sweet milk? Do you drink cow milk? That shit don't matter. It does not matter. Do you listen to this music? That doesn't matter. Are you a decent human being? Do you respect me as a fellow decent human being? And do we have the same enemy? Like, it really is that simple.
Absolutely.
If anybody's read that book, The Art of War, they should understand that to actually have meaningful gains, you have to sit down and you got a plan. And you're going to have to make some concessions. And some shit ain't going to go according to your plan.
So what are the criteria? Enemies? What else?
Are you a decent human being? And does the other person respect you as a decent human being?
I want to touch on that. I had a
I
want to find this tweet, actually. Let me find this tweet. I'm going to read it for y'all. I had this epiphany this weekend. I'm going to put this up on the screen, and you can tell me what you think about this. Here it is. So, let's go latest. And I said, when you want to know if you're putting out Christ-like content, just look at the audience you serve, right? So
that was a good one.
Thank you. So I was thinking about how everybody posts like this race hustler content. And if you look at the people who bite on that content, it's all these like obscure, weird Fed accounts and then like kids in their mom's basement and all this sort of bullshit.
Weirdos.
Yeah, it's a bunch of weirdos. So if you're serving a weirdo community, you're probably not doing something Christ-like. But if you look at your community and your community is like real, good, genuine people, then your content is probably Christ-like. And that's what keeps me sane, is knowing that my content is serving a good community, because that's what the content creator does. He's serving a community, right? There's a symbiotic relationship where the community supports him or her, and then they are doing right by the community, being consistent, putting out good content, doing well thought out research, not posting fake news, all this type of stuff, not posting divisive content, so
not just getting people all amped up and going.
Yeah, rage bait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what you reminded me of when you said that.
And that's, for me, I've been online a long ass time. I'm 30, I just turned 34, and I've been online since I was like 10 years old. So I've got 24 years on this fucking God's internet.
Okay.
And it is a terrible cesspool. It's absolute garbage, 86% of it. But those of us who use it for good, I almost feel like we're freaking Sisyphus to some extent, just rolling our boulder up the hill every day, day in and day out. But like you said, when you look at the people who consume your content, it is a nice, I guess, a little reminder that, even though this boulder has to go up the hill every fucking day and it's going to roll back down, somebody else is seeing this, and that gives them the, I guess, that courage and the knowledge that, somebody else is going up the hill too. You can roll your boulder and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Don't be discouraged. Don't let the division things settle into your heart. Not you specifically, but listeners, and also maybe us to some extent, because ultimately we have to see these people as people. The second that we dehumanize them is when we allow ourselves to do to others what they do.
Correct.
So
great advice.
I have to keep myself in check a lot, because I am queen of othering, and once you're othered, I really don't give a shit about you, and that's not fair to humanity on a whole. So if I have tendencies, if little old me has tendencies to other human beings, then I can only assume the rest of us do that. So maybe our heart posture should be a little bit more Christ-like, and we should just see everybody as little dumb babies.
Check your heart posture.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for the show. I'm gonna let you get back to it. I just wanted to call in and tell everybody stop fighting. Put everybody in a T-shirt, the Hug It Out T-shirt.
Thanks.
And anybody who didn't have to sit through that sucks for you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, wholesome white woman.
All right, talk to you later. Talk to build.
Wholesome white woman on the check-in. Have you ever seen a podcast or a stream from me where I'm not eating? Yes or no? Have you ever seen one where I have not eaten something? Wait, why did my computer just do that? Can I buy a black friend on Twitter? So somebody was asking about the Hotepistan in the cryptoverse with Syscoin. And I gotta tell you, if you saw some of the bags that people were making off of similar projects, man, people were making some serious bags off of pooling assets and doing the MLM thing on crypto. Serious fucking bags. And I think we can create some serious bags for the Hotep community as well. By bags, I mean ROI, return on investment. Steph says, yeah. Heather says, nope. She said, I've seen some, but not many, says Jay. Mop Deep said, HJ would eat barbecue ribs on stream. He don't give a fuck. Ooh, I got to do barbecue ribs one day. That'll be fired. Ooh, I love barbecue, by the way. Got to be beef ribs, though. I can't do pork ribs. Pork ribs not gonna work. I can't do pork ribs. You know when that oil and vinegar on the sub hit your taste buds? Tastes better than pussy. My bad. One True Iceman. You ever ate pussy and it tastes good? Anyway, I'm sorry. Never mind. One True Iceman, 499 Super Chat. He said, would you be willing to bring Christian philosopher and writer Jay Dyer for a discussion on religion? He hosts 4 hours. He hosts a 4th hour of Alex every Friday. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me see who he is. Is he a race hustler? Oh, I follow him. He follows me. Okay, here we are. Jay Dyer. Sure. Tell him get in contact with Leah. Or get in contact with Leah. Her ad is in my bio. And Robert said it should always taste good. Yeah, sometimes it tastes like pennies though. You ever had Never mind. Lauren, shut up. Ghosting, wow. Listen. I be hungry, yo. And I'm not gonna let etiquette stop me from eating on stream. I'm just not. Fuck y'all. You don't like me eating? Can I eat, motherfucker? I want to eat. Lauren, my bad, yo. You know you done had some penny pussy before. Y'all know y'all done ate some penny pussy before. Shit just tastes like copper wire and shit. Yeah, JJ. My bad. I'm sorry. This is what my brain does. It has the most random thoughts. And if I don't just express those random thoughts, then I might forget what I was about to say. Where we at? Hold on. Jay Dyer, we were on this tab. What did I have on this tab before I went there? Oh, yeah, this. Okay. And then what was here? I brought this up because I'm like, when I said, I like to tweet for people who are the few, the intellectual elite. This is, some people would say the boule or whatever. Here's an example of one of my boule tweets. What do you prefer to look at? The futures market. And Altitude Chaz, he's one of the investors I love following. Great insight. Shout out to Altitude Chaz. Been following him since forever. Probably like one of the day ones. What did Lauren say? Lauren? Steph, that's the wrong time of the month, my guy. Listen. Okay? I don't know what the fuck happened. All right? Jay said, with a schedule like yours, it's probably the only time you get to eat. Exactly. That's my point. My schedule is so weird. It's like the only time I get to eat is like y'all gonna eat. Like I'm streaming during your lunchtime. Can I get a lunchtime? Goldstein said, this is the content that balances everything out. Yeah. I have a tendency to balance things out like this. You're going to get small brain content, big brain content, finance content, and then I'm going to say some wild shit at some point. So I usually use TradingView, right? And Doe Dudes brought that up. And that's not, too bad. Yahoo Finance is decent. Shout out to Jazzy. But I wanted some new ones, right? And somebody, so investing.com, I hadn't thought to use investing.com. And just to give you an update on why I wanted to look at the futures, it's because I ran across some interesting information about, predicting recessions and booms and bust cycles. So I wanted to look at something on the futures, and I didn't want to use my ordinary methods. I said, this is a good time to post a tweet that only speaks to a few people, I like to reach out to. So then somebody mentioned one. Here it is, FinViz. I never heard of this one, FinViz, and I really like this platform. I like the way that they aggregate the data and then display it. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was rather interesting. So here's how they're displaying the futures data. What type of chart is this called? Can y'all tell me what? I didn't go to college, so I don't know what these different types of charts are called. But what's this chart called? So we're looking at oil here, ethanol. I really wanted to look at the indices. Let's look at the indices over a month period. See what the indices are. Futures are going up. I'm gonna have to dive into this more closely. Let's go based upon the S&P. Let's look at the S&P. Got this futures is going up. Heat map, is that what it's called? Heat map. Thank you. There you go. Heat map chart. So, Jack, looking at this chart, this is a 1-year chart, S&P 500 futures. What does this say about our country based upon these futures investments? What conclusions can you draw about the future of our economy? Can anybody help me out here? I just want to check. I don't want to say anything because that'll kind of ruin it. Because some people are just like, oh, yeah, I just agree with Hotep Jesus. No. I don't want to say it. I just want to fact check myself. What do you think this chart is saying right here? Hopefully you can see it better like this. What is this futures chart saying? And then I'm going to get out of here. All right. Tell me while I chew on my sandwich. Jay Wink says a crash is coming. EMP says we have no future. Interstellar says overbought, Big Short. Jay Wink says buy hard metals. Interesting. Sir Roosevelt said the most intelligent minds never went to college. That's correct. That's correct. A crash? Wipe my mouth? Am I balling? Oh, shit. Damn, you right. My bad. Thank you for the heads up. See, that's love right there. Y'all was going to let me have that milky substance on my lip like that. Pause. Y'all ain't right. Now, that's what I thought. Hotep Yoruba said no crash coming, by the next dip. That's what I saw when I looked at this. I saw optimistic traders. That's what I saw. This looks like optimism going into election season, right? Because if you look here, right, you know, from what is this, August? You see this big dip going into November. It starts to downtrend. And that's when everybody was talking about, you know, it was pessimism, et cetera, et cetera. But right here, November, matter of fact, when was it that the Feds, hold on, let me see. When did the Feds make their interest rate announcement? When was the last one? Wasn't that like where they decided to hold, and London followed suit as well. Hold on, let me do 2023. When was that last announcement? Okay, it says right here, consumer inflation dropped slightly in November, right? I remember that. Core index rose 3.7. Anybody remember? Hold on, I'm gonna check them. Hold on, let me check the chat. 'Cause I know the chat got some info for us. Hold on, where y'all at? I can't find y'all. Y'all in one of these screens. Wait. Oh, there you are. You're back here. I got you, Retro. Thank you. Yeah, stocks do go crazy in time of war. Hold on, let me hit news. Let me hit news and then see if I can find anything there. Because I could have sworn it was around November, right? Yup, November 2nd. Here it is. It was November. Yup, it was November. So when we come and look at the chart, you see right here, November, as soon as the Fed says, yo, we're holding interest rates, it looks like investors get optimistic. So you guys are calling for a crash, and I'm like, I don't know. It looks like the investors are optimistic. Futures are up. Now, I mean, of course, there's going to be a crash at some point. It's going to be a correction at some point. But all that inflation talk, brought it down. Feds say they're holding interest rates. To me, it looks like an optimistic market. And then the Feds they're going to lower interest rates or hold this year as well. Let me check on the chat, see what y'all are saying here. I just want to cross-reference my notes with you guys. Hedgers keep adding positions. No need to even consider a recession unless Powell says something Wednesday. See, Hotep Orba knows what he's talking about. That sounds like an educated reply. Sounds like somebody knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't expect prices to drop. I'm not looking for something like that. I can't remember the last time prices even dropped. Retro Neon says, now next year, I would not be surprised if there was a crash next year. Absolutely. Or we could just go into another bubble. I think we're due for a bubble. Hold on. Let me see. Can I adjust this chart over a longer period of time, or is it not going to let me? Yeah, it's not going to let me. That's where I'd have to go to Trading View. So let's see if this is 2020. I want to go back further. It's okay. It's all right. I'll do it on my own time. Retro Neon says, this is what God is. A power that everybody possesses but has yet to use. And if you use it for good, not evil. God isn't a pronoun, being, or deity, but a function. A flow, sort of speak. I like that. I can't say if I agree or disagree, but I like that. God is a flow. Flow. menofwater.com.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
What's today? Monday? All right, so my kids got we got a chess tournament tonight. I don't know how long it's going to last, but Uncle Hotep may have to host the Patreon tonight for another episode of Hotep's Been Told You. Patreon.com/Hotep's Been Told You. Go get that for a second dose of Hotep Been Told You. No chess stream tonight because we're going to be at a chess tournament, but I'll be back Wednesday with a chess stream. Kick.com/Hotep Jesus. So you can tune in then. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow, Monday through Friday, Grift Report, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Hotep Jesus. Damn, I'm wild. I got stuff all on my mouth. Pause. It's pussy juice. It's pussy juice. Be well, be merry. Tell somebody in your family that you love them. And of course, Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.